Very good morning to all of you. Today's topic is chemotherapy in gynecological cancer or cytotoxic drugs in gynecological cancer. As you know, nowadays the chemotherapy plays an important role in the management of gynecological cancer. So this is important topic, and this is also very one mode of management of gynecological cancer. So use of drugs to treat disseminated cancer has developed into a specialized discipline. At any stage of a malignant tumor, there is a phase of dissemination of cancer. So the local treatment will not suffice because there is disseminated cancer. So there is the role of systemic chemotherapy in treatment of gynecological cancer, and the first successful effort to control cancer with the help of drugs or chemotherapy drugs is attributed to Lee et al. In 1956. He demonstrated permanent remission in trophoblastic disease, that is gestational trophoblastic neoplasia or metastatic choriocarcinoma. He proved the role of systemic chemotherapy in the treatment of metastatic choriocarcinoma. So he gets all the credit for the, that is why it is told that the first cancer to cure is choriocarcinoma. So the role of cytotoxic drugs is important for the management of, especially in case of metastatic or disseminated cancer. Almost all gynecological cancers are treated by one treatment is chemotherapy, and so it is an important for the treatment of the gynecological cancer, chemotherapy. So nowadays there is more and more understanding about the DNA level. So there is new and new, more and more effective chemotherapy drugs are being developed, and also most effective drugs are also being developed and with less toxicity, and improved and prolonged the survival of the woman with genital cancers. Though there is effective, more and more effective drugs are available with less and less toxicity, that indicates the normal cells are less affected, and simultaneously there is also improvement of prolongation of survival of life in the cases of genital malignancy. So what are the objectives of chemotherapy? The main objectives of chemotherapy in gynecological cancer are complete remission of the tumor or partial remission, that is about 30% decrease of the total diameter with increased median survival rate, and also to prevent recurrence, and as it is also used as palliative to alleviate the symptoms of the patients and to improve the life status of the patient, and where there is no chance of cure in advanced cases. So it is used as palliative, and also it is used to prevent the further occurrence of the malignancy, especially in high risk cases. So these are the objectives of the chemotherapy. Then the effective chemotherapy is designed to kill selectively malignant cells, specifically to kill the malignant cells without producing serious irreversible harm to normal cells. So it should not kill the normal cells, so that there will be more side effects or toxic effects. So specifically, it should kill selectively, it should kill the malignant cells, not the normal cells. But till date, all drugs, all the cytotoxic drugs developed kills the malignant cells as well as the normal cells. But as the recovery of the normal cells is quick in between the courses of the chemotherapy, and there is no recovery of the malignant cells, so it will be effective. So that is why the intermittent therapy is used for the recovery of the normal cells, but not the malignant cells. So what are the goals of the treatment? It should be curative or palliative. Curative, when it is curative, when curative chemotherapy is used, usually they are typically only defined number of courses. Specifically, some courses are defined for the curative purpose. So the defined number of courses are to be given. And this often leads to significant toxicity. But for the possibility of achieving cure, the side effects are typically deemed acceptable. So the number of courses of chemotherapy in curative chemotherapy is defined, specified. This much 6 courses or 4 courses, 3 courses, specified, even if there is development of significant toxicity. So those toxicity have to be dealt with and to be managed accordingly, according to the type of toxicity. They should be managed, but the number of courses of curative chemotherapy should not decrease. It is specified. Even if there is toxicity, the defined number of courses should be administered. Then when it is given for palliative purpose, so it is selected to minimize the disease progression and to extend the quality of life. So here, not the cure. It is the chemotherapy given to minimize the disease process. The progression or process of disease is minimized or decreased, but not cured completely, and to extend the quality of life. So here the greater importance is attached to avoiding excessive toxicity. So here the toxicity should be taken into account. If there is more toxicity, the patient cannot tolerate, so the dose and courses should be reduced. Unlike the curative purposes, where the doses and courses is defined, fixed, even if there is significant toxicity. So before doing chemotherapy, the cell cycle should be known, and it is the most important. The cell cycle plays an important role for the management by the cytotoxic drugs. So as you know, the cell cycle is divided into 4 major phases, that is M phase or mitosis, G1 phase or period between the mitosis and initiation of DNA replication, or pre-synthetic phase or pre-synthetic gap, then S phase or DNA synthesis or synthetic phase, and G2 phase or post-synthetic phase, that is the period between completion of DNA synthesis and mitosis. So these are the 4 phases, and another, the post-mitotic cells can exit the cell cycle into this G0 phase and remain for days, weeks, or even a lifetime without further proliferation. So it is G0 is the out of cell cycle. So what is the duration of the cell cycle? So usually it is very variable, even about 12 hours to 217 hours, the cell cycle. And the complete cell cycle within approximately 24 hours. So during a typical cell cycle, mitosis phase lasts for about 30 to 60 minutes, and G1 phase lasts for 7 to 10 hours, and S phase 10 hours, and G2 phase 5 hours. So there is great variable from the cell cycle. So the cell cycle time is the time needed for a proliferative cell to produce a daughter cell through the cell cycle. Going through the cell cycle, but the time required for a proliferative cell to produce daughter cells. That is the time. It is greatly variable. It varies from 12 hours to 217 hours. So there is great variation. So G1 phase, in response to specific external stimuli, cells enter the cell cycle by moving from the G0 phase into the G1 phase. There are external and internal stimulus are there for the cell cycle, and the process during G1 phase lead to the synthesis of enzymes and regulatory proteins which are required for the DNA synthesis during S phase and are mainly regulated by G1 cyclin-dependent kinase cyclin complexes. So S phase, next S phase or synthetic phase, synthesis of DNA, and the nuclear DNA content of the cell is duplicated during the S phase of the cell cycle. Then G2 phase or post-synthetic phase, that is RNA and protein synthesis occurs during this phase. And another important event in G2 phase is the cell cycle is the repair of errors of DNA replication. There is a repair of errors of the DNA replication that may have occurred during S phase. Usually the DNA replication occurs in S phase. Suppose there is an error that can be repaired in the G2 phase, post-synthetic phase. Defects in the DNA repair mechanism have been associated with an increased incidence of cancer. If there is defect, then there is the incidence of cancer is increased. Then mitosis phase or M phase. In this phase, nuclear chromosomal division occurs and the cellular DNA is equally distributed to each of the daughter cells. And mitosis is divided into, as you know, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. And next is G0 phase. Usually it's the resting phase, and usually the cells rest temporarily, and it is the out of cell cycle. G1 cells may either terminally differentiate into G0 phase or re-enter the cell cycle after a period of patience, after a period of some time. Then tumors do not have faster generation times, but instead have many more cells in the active phase of replication. So in tumor cells, the more cells are in the active phase of the replication. But in contrast, normal tissues have a much larger number of cells, huge number of cells in the G0 phase or resting phase. So the cancer cells proceeding through the cell cycle are highly sensitive to chemotherapeutic agents, whereas normal cells in G0 are protected. Because in the normal tissues, there are huge number of cells are in the G0 phase, which are insensitive to the chemotherapeutic agents, and in tumor cells are more in active phases of the replication, and they are highly sensitive to the chemotherapy agents. So the normal cells in G0 are protected. The growth pattern disparity underlies the effectiveness of chemotherapeutic agents. That is the growth pattern of tumor. It depends upon the effectiveness of the chemotherapeutic agents. Then more about normal cells. This is a normal issue. Before chemotherapy, this should be known detail. Normal cells and cell kinetics, tumor cell kinetics, everything should be known for the chemotherapeutic drugs to act. So normal cells have inherent capacity to multiply, and this is controlled by various internal and external stimuli. It has sorry for the hanging of the. Now I will start again to continue the chemotherapy in gynecology. I finished these normal cells. Then the cancer cells. About the cancer cells, there is, in contrast to normal cells, there are uncontrolled and excessive proliferation compared to normal cells. There is uncontrolled, the proliferation or division is uncontrolled. Uncontrolled and excessive proliferation there in cancer cells. And speed of the cell division is same as compared to normal cell, that is generation time is same as normal cells. The generation time is the time from the M phase to M phase. That is generation time. So this generation time is same for the normal cells and for the malignant cells. But the normal tissue have huge number of cells in G0 phase, out of cell cycle or resting phase in normal tissues, whereas the tumor cells are in the more number in case of in active phase of cell division, which are more sensitive. The cells in the active phase of the cell division are more sensitive for the chemotherapy, whereas the cells in resting phase or G0 phase are mostly insensitive. So the chemotherapeutic acts to the tumor cells or damage the tumor cells which are in the active phase of the cell division. More cells are in the active phase of the cell division in case of malignancy, whereas in normal tissues are in the G0 phase, which are insensitive to the chemotherapy. So dividing tumor cells are more sensitive cytotoxic agents, where cells in G0 phase or resting phase are relatively resistant. Then about the cancer cell growth of the cancer cells, that is Gompertzian growth pattern. The tumor mass requires progressively longer times to double in size as it enlarges. When the size is increased, size of the tumor is increased, then the doubling time of the size also increased or prolonged. So when a cancer is microscopic and non-palpable, growth is exponential. However, as a tumor enlarges, the number of its cells undergoing replication decreases. So a big tumor is having more, the double time is increased. And when tumors and the exponential phase of the Gompertzian growth, means when the volume or size of the tumor increases, the doubling time is also prolonged. So in this case, they should be more sensitive to chemotherapy because a larger percentage of cells are in the active phase of the cell cycle, which are more sensitive to the cytotoxic drugs. So metastasis should be more sensitive to chemotherapy than a primary tumor because they are having more active cells, dividing cells or proliferative cells in the metastasis than the primary tumor. So they are more sensitive to the metastatic tumors are more sensitive than the primary tumor to the chemotherapy agents. Then, to take advantage of this potential benefit, advanced ovarian cancer is usually treated with surgical debulking and adjuvant chemotherapy. So first, the size or volume is decreased by the surgical debulking in advanced stage of the cancer. As much as possible, the malignant tissue should be removed. Debulking should be done so that the volume is decreased. And then, so adjuvant chemotherapy is beneficial after surgical debulking. Then, when a tumor mass shrinks in response to the treatment, the size shrinks. It is presumed that a greater number of cells will enter the active phase of the cell cycle to accelerate growth. The larger percentage of replicating cells should also increase the sensitivity of a tumor to chemotherapy. So more replication, more division, more dividing cells, more sensitivity of the chemotherapy. Then, what is the causes of cancer, etiology of cancer? A cancer is thought to develop from a cell in which the normal mechanisms or control of mechanisms for growth and proliferation are altered. There is alteration of the control of the growth and proliferation. And the current evidence supports the concept of carcinogenesis as a multi-stage process that is genetically regulated. The genetic and molecular basis of cancer. There are two major classes of genes are involved, that is oncogenes and tumor carcinogenesis, and oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes. Then tumor cell kinetics, that is also important thing for the chemotherapy to use. A fundamental characteristic of malignant tumors is the rapid proliferation and malignant cells, and these rapidly proliferating cells keep repeating a cycle of biochemical events continuously, which culminate in cell division. And each proliferative cell gives rise to two daughter cells that continue the same process, the proliferative process, so that there is cell population is increased geometrically. So one cell, proliferative cell, gives the two daughter cells, then two daughter cells give four daughter cells, then four cells will give again 8 cells. So likewise, geometrically, the cell population is increased. So tumor is described and consisting of 4 types of cells. That is dividing, number one is dividing tumor cells. This is the only compartment that adds to the cell population. And cells in this compartment are most sensitive to the cytotoxic drugs. So, though these dividing cells increases the volume and size of the tumor, this compartment gives the more number of cells. Still then, the cells in this compartment are also more sensitive to the cytotoxic drugs. So it is beneficial for the cytotoxic agents to act. Then resting cells. These are non-dividing cells resting temporarily. Cells in G0 phase, they are refractory to the chemotherapeutic agents. They are non-dividing at present when they are in the resting cells, but those they are resting temporarily. So in special circumstances, they will again divide and they will again go to dividing compartment. Another is differentiated cells. These cells have lost their dividing potential and are awaiting natural death. Since they do not have malignant potential, they are of little concern to the chemotherapist. So as they have lost their dividing potential. So they will next will go to dying compartment. So they are less concern for the chemotherapist. And next is dying cells. These are terminal cells. These are also of no concern, but the first two dividing cells and most sensitive, and to some extent G0 cells in the G0 phase, that is also for the concern for the chemotherapist, because it may go again to the dividing cells and will be multiplied. This is the hallmarks of the cancer. The target areas for therapeutic interventions are aneuploidy, angiogenesis, neovascularization, and altered energy metabolism, invasivity, motility, and immune defense evasion, immortalization or anti-apoptosis or programmed cell death, against anti-programmed cell death, anti-apoptosis, and deregulated proliferation. So these are the phases: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase we have discussed. G1 or pre-synthetic gap, DNA synthetic period, then post-synthetic gap and mitosis, and G0 resting cells. Then what are the mechanism of chemotherapy or cytotoxic drugs action? So damage the DNA of the affected cancer cells. It is not always possible to be selective, but selectivity is the ultimate goal of any drug, that is cisplatin or doxorubicin and etoposide. Special drugs are also effective for specific cancers. Then they may inhibit the synthesis of new DNA. So new DNA strands to stop the cell from replicating, because the replication of the cell is what allows the tumor to grow. That is specially methotrexate, mercaptopurine, and hydroxyzine. Then to stop the mitotic processes of a cell. Stopping mitosis stops cell division, that is replication of the cancer, and may ultimately halt the progression of the cancer. Vinblastine and vincristine, that is plant products. Then there are modalities of the treatment of the cancers like local therapy, surgery, radiation therapy, and systemic treatment like chemotherapy, hormone therapy, monoclonal antibodies, radioactive material, and supportive care, and non-conventional therapy. So chemotherapy is also important mode of management in the treatment of malignancy. So what is the chemotherapeutic response? The dividing cells are sensitive to the cycle-dependent agents, because grossly there are two types of cells: cell cycle specific agents, cell cycle non-specific agents. So dividing cells are dependent or sensitive to the cycle specific agent. Cell cycle specific agents are there, that is dividing cells are sensitive, and the cells in the resting cells are insensitive to the cycle dependent agents or cycle specific, cell cycle specific agents. It is insensitive, G0 phase, resting phase. Then differentiated cells are of no concern for chemotherapy, because they have lost their multiplication power of division, and dying cells, of course, there is no role. Then how to assess the response of chemotherapy? Clinical and physical examination, and assessing by imaging, different imaging investigations are there like CT and MRI, and serial measurement of specific tumor markers. There are specific tumor markers of the specific malignant conditions. As for example, CA125 for epithelial ovarian cancer, beta ECG for GTN. We have already discussed the tumor markers of the epithelial ovarian tumors, and also discussed in different malignant conditions. So tumor markers are specific to specific malignant conditions. And detection of hypermetabolic state by PET scan or PET CT. These are the means to assess the response of chemotherapy. So systemic chemotherapy is the main treatment available for disseminated malignant diseases, and progress in chemotherapy resulted in cure for several tumors. And usually the chemotherapy courses of chemotherapy are multiple. Then about clinical pharmacokinetics, it is highly variable depending on individual agent, and generally have high reactivity and short half-lives chemotherapeutic drugs, and meclorothamine is highly unstable, and chlorambucil and cyclophosphamide are relatively stable and usually given orally, and cyclophosphamide, ifosfamide and dicarbazine are unusual as they require activation by cytochrome P450 in liver before they can alkylate cellular constituents. Then what are the modes of chemotherapy? It may be primary chemotherapy, where the chemotherapy is used as the sole anti-cancer treatment in a highly sensitive tumor. Then it may be adjuvant chemotherapy, where the treatment is given after surgery to mop off the microscopic residual disease. Then neoadjuvant chemotherapy, when treatment is given before surgery to shrink a tumor and increase chance of successful resection. Next, the further surgery is possible. Then concurrent chemotherapy, where the chemotherapy drugs is given simultaneously to increase sensitivity of the cancer cells to the radiation. We have also discussed in radiotherapy. Then other principles of chemotherapy are small rapidly growing tumors have many more rapidly dividing and growing cells. Hence, doubling time is short. And these are the same tumors which have a high number of cells sensitive to the cell cycle specific cytotoxic drugs. So, because there are more rapidly dividing cells or growing cells, they are more sensitive to the cell cycle specific agents. And as the tumor mass enlarges, the growth rate progressively slows down and doubling time becomes longer. The cell input may equal loss. The input is equal to kill or loss of the cell. Hence, a stationary size may be reached and the sensitivity to the cell-specific drug diminishes because there is less dividing cells. Next, another factor is during cancer chemotherapy, the tumor load present at the commencement of the therapy. The less tumor load, there is more effective. More tumor load, it is less effective because of less dividing cells. Then a reduction in the burden of tumor cell load will bring an apparent remission, but during the interval between the successive courses of cancer chemotherapy, the tumor growth recurs. So in between there is recurrence, but there is stepwise decrease in tumor cell mass. So more number of cells are killed by one course of chemotherapy, but again some tumor cells will again recur, but the loss is more than the cells of the recurrence. The main concept of the cancer chemotherapy is the maximum tumor cell kill or total tumor cell kill. So what are the principles? The tumor cell kill by cytotoxic drugs follows the pattern demonstrated by the Skipper and Perry in 1970 that the killing of tumor cells by cytotoxic agents occurs in an exponential fashion. Means a given dose of chemotherapy drugs kills a constant fraction of the population, irrespective of the initial size. So it kills the constant fraction of the cells. Suppose the cell number at the initial time is 10 to the power 10. So again, it kills a fraction of the cells. Suppose it depends upon the other drugs, 1 log kill agent or 2 log kill. Suppose there is a 1 log kill pattern is there. So from suppose it is 10 to the power 10 power, the cells are there. So there will be minus 10 to 10 minus 1, 9. So there will be cells of 10 to the power 9. The resting cells will be 10 to the power 9. So 1 cell kill, 1 log kill means 10 to the minus 1. So there is usually 90% of cells are killed. But if the log kill is 2, then there is more number of cells are killed. About 99% of tumor cells are killed in case of 2 log kill. Means if the initial number of cells is 10 to the power 10, then it will be decreased to the 10 to the power 8. Like that, if it is 3 log kill, then if the initial number of cells is 10 to the power 10, then it will be decreased to 10 to the power 7. So like that. So there is more and more number of cells are killed in case as the higher number of log kill there. So irrespective of initial size, there is killing of the in a constant fraction according to the log kill hypothesis. So there is a clear dose response relationship, and prolonged treatment may be necessary to reduce the malignant cell population to a lower number, which will then be dealt with by the host immune mechanism. But sometimes extra courses are also given when the tumor marker shows that there is no tumor tissue by the investigation. Still then, there is extra courses of chemotherapy are given which to neutralize the undetected cells by the investigations. So chemotherapy is most effective when it is started early because the number of tumor cell population is low and the rapidly growing and dividing cells are sensitive to cancer chemotherapy. And the chemotherapy must aim at different cell kill. The dose must be so adjusted that maximum destruction of tumor cell is achieved with minimal damage to the normal cell. So the chemotherapy should be aimed at a different cell kill. Means it should kill at different phases of the cell cycle. That is, again, synergistic action will occur so that there will be total cell kill. So many cytotoxic drugs now show some degree of tissue selectivity, and combination drug regimes and sequential drug regimes achieve superior tumor cell control with lower side effects. And drugs with different actions will better response and the reduced drug resistance. So there are two types of regimes, single agent chemotherapy or combination agent chemotherapy. So combination agent chemotherapy is better than the single agent chemotherapy as it is more effective and less side effects. Problem of drug resistance must be constantly borne in mind. So this often happens with a single drug chemotherapy. So drug resistance is common in case of single drug therapy, single agent chemotherapy, but not the combination agent chemotherapy or combined drug therapy. Drug resistance is less common in case of combined or combination agent chemotherapy. And drug resistance may be temporary due to poor vascularity, not allowing drugs to reach the tumor cells caused by fibrosis or bulky tumor, or permanent when it is either spontaneous or drug-induced mutation. So these are the mechanisms of development of drug resistance, like increased repair of DNA and decrease in cellular drug uptake and increased level of target enzyme to make the cell immune to the drug and increase in drug degradation and spontaneous tumor cell mutations. So mutations like this here now recently COVID virus is mutating, they are telling, so there may be, that is also resistance. So chemotherapy has advanced tremendously recent years and is being increasingly used in the management of the malignant malignancies. The drugs, by virtue of prolongation of life and prolonged remission period, allows a woman to live a tolerable life. Then chemoradiation, we have discussed to some extent in the radiotherapy class. So again, now recognize that some chemotherapy drugs acts also as radiosensitizer and lead to superadded cell kill prior to or preferably along the radiotherapy and prior to surgery, and use as neoadjuvant chemotherapy in a bulky tumor and locally advanced cancer in the pelvis. And most common drug used for this purpose is cisplatin, either singly or as combined drugs. Cisplatin in a dose of 40 milligrams square weekly is given 1 hour before radiotherapy, and especially renal function should be normal because it is renal toxic. And other chemoradiation drugs in use are 5-FU, gemcitabine. Usually cisplatin combined with gemcitabine in a dose of 40 milligrams square in 200 ml of saline, that is given 2 hours before radiation. It usually takes 1 hour for administration. And post-radiation chemotherapy is not effective and poor response occurs on account of poor tissue oxygenation and poor vascularity, not allowing the drugs to reach and penetrate the tumor. Myelosuppression of radiotherapy and high drug toxicity due to decreased renal function and ureteric obstruction due to radiation fibrosis caused by radiotherapy limit the use of chemotherapy drugs as post-radiation drug. So there is less successes of the post-radiation chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is also used for recurrent and advanced diseases that are not amenable to surgery and radiotherapy to reduce the tumor volume and provide short-term palliation. Then combined agents are superior to a single agent therapy because they enhance tumor cell kill, reduce dose toxicity and resistance, and yields a better therapeutic response with longer remission. They also yield better response than drugs acting similarly. Chemotherapy does not prevent occurrence of the distal metastasis. chemotherapy yields better response in distal metastasis as compared to post-treated recurrence, as the vascularity is not compromised. Then, what is the difference between single agent versus combination agent chemotherapy? Combined chemotherapeutic agents attack different phases of the cell cycle. That is why there occurs synergistic effect. So, reduces the tumor volume effectively. Use of combination of cell cycle specific and cell cycle non-specific chemotherapy enhances tumor cell kill compared to single agent chemotherapy. Because of toxicity, drug dose and duration of therapy cannot be increased in case of single agent chemotherapy. Emergence of drug resistance is more with the single agent chemotherapy than the combination agent chemotherapy. Then, what is the role of chemotherapy? The total response and cure is about 10 to 20%. Of course, it varies according to the case to case and the stage of the disease and score of the disease, and remission with the partial response is about 40 to 50%. So according to the response, if it is complete response means the disappearance of all target regions, complete response. If it is partial response, it means 30% decrease in the sum of greatest diameters of the target lesions. Progressive disease means 20% increase in the sum of greatest diameters of the target lesions. Stable disease, small changes that do not meet the above criteria. So, some drugs are non-specific agents, alkylating agents, cisplatin and carboplatin and fractaxin. So, non-specific or specific. Non-specific agents that damage the cells at any phase of the cycle, including the G0 phase, though the dividing cells are most vulnerable. The specific agents are methotrexate and adriamycin and gestational population disease, 5-FU in vulval cancer, hydroxyurea, bleomycin, and etoposide in cancer cells. So specific agents kill the specific phase of the cell cycle specific or cell cycle non-specific. So these are some examples of the non-specific, cell cycle non-specific, that is cyclophosphamide, cisplatin and carboplatin, and cell cycle specific drugs on G1 phase, actinomycin D, on S phase, methotrexate, 5-FU, doxorubicin, on G2 phase, bleomycin, etoposide, on M phase, vinblastine, vincristine, vaccines, on G0 phase, nitrosourea. So what are the route of administration? Usually, alkylating drugs are mainly used orally, and intermittent therapy is given for recovery of the normal cells, and it can be also given parenterally, mainly through intravenous route, but it can be also given intra-arterial also or intraperitoneal. Cisplatin is used, and intrathecal methotrexate, usually in distant choriocarcinoma. And what are the formalities maintained in systemic chemotherapy? Drugs used in combination should not be mixed together, and the infusion set should be flushed with normal saline in between administration of each drug. In between, they should be flushed to prevent the sclerosis of the vein. Then extravasation of the drugs should be avoided. Better to angiocatheters should be used, and antiemetic should be given before start of the chemotherapy. What are the investigations? Hemoglobin, total count, WC count, and platelet count, serum electrolytes, kidney function test, cardiac function test, and pulmonary function test, especially for bleomycin, and liver function test for methotrexate. as the more of the drugs are metabolized in liver and excreted in the kidney. So renal function, liver functions test should be done. What are the contraindications of chemotherapy? When the hemoglobin less than 10 gram percent and WBC count less than 3000 cubic millimeter and platelet count less than 1 lakh per cubic millimeter, and there is dysfunction of the liver and renal. Then what are the complications? Anemia, thrombocytopenia, leukopenia, alopecia, that is reversible, and renal damage, liver damage, and cardiac toxicity by doxorubicin, and pulmonary toxicity by the bleomycin. So, what is the critical points? Is the treatment should be started early start is more beneficial, and treatment must continue past time of non-detection of the cancer cells by conventional techniques. So it should continue, extra course of the chemotherapy should be given. Then appropriate rescheduling of treatment courses and a sufficient log pill to be obtained. Thank you. If any doubts or queries. Thank you. Thank you. Any query up to now? No. Okay, thank you.